Hey there, all you property preservation maniacs. It's Chuck Taylor with the Taylor Shop coming at you again with another vlog. This week I'm going to be talking to you about the tools for success. What I mean by that is for a successful working relationship with us at the Taylor Shop. We've been doing this now, rounding our 10th year of processing. We've been in this industry, I've been in this industry over 14 years. Combined in our company, we have over 40 years of property preservation experience. So with that, you get a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, certainly a lot of experience. But with that, we've seen a lot of the do's and the don'ts, and we've had a lot of success stories, and we've had some fails. We've certainly had a lot more success stories than we've had failures. However, we have come up with we've come up with 5 tools, bullet points, if you will, about what you can do or what you can use to be successful. Now, this may carry on to other aspects of business or this industry, but these certainly pertain to working with us at the Taylor Shop. Again, we've seen the failures and what happens when you don't utilize any of these tools. You should use them all, but if you don't use any one of them, I can almost guarantee you it just will not work. Our services, our processing, the way we do things is the best. It is premier, but again, we're not for everybody. Some guys are just not ready for this high level of processing work orders, achieving the highest quality control status that we present. So with that being said, I want to jump right into it. Number one, pretty obvious, pretty straightforward, but you'd be surprised how this is the number one reason for failure with working with the Taylor Shop, and that's simple: communication. See the words come out of my mouth? Communication. In this day and age, there is no excuse whatsoever for lack of or no communication. We all have smartphones. We all have cell phones. So you can reach us through a cell phone. We have an office line. I have about 10 or so emails, probably more than that. Every single one of them is linked to my phone. You can send an email. I'll get it whether I'm at my desk, outside, in the bathroom, wherever I am, at a restaurant, wherever I'm at, I'm going to get your email. And most likely I'll respond to it, quickly. So, but communication, you have to communicate. This is the number one problem we see with contractors: their failure to communicate. That sounds a little cliche, but it's true. What we have here is a failure to communicate. Absolutely. It's just that simple. If there is no communication, if you're not going to be responsive, then it's just not going to work. It's just that simple. We're pretty self-sufficient. We hit the ground running when we process orders. We're working with any client. We've processed for every servicing company out there, so we don't need training. We don't need advisement. We hit the ground running. However, we will have questions in the beginning. We want to make sure that we're modeling, we're tailoring your experience, so to speak, after what your expectations are, and we will meet and exceed them. However, you must communicate. If we call, you must call us back in a relative amount of time. Or prefer email, we send an email. You should respond. I work with a lot of medium to large scale regionals, and they have, usually you can get a hold of them, somebody, the owner, if not the office manager, the owner. But I've had a lot of smaller volume guys, and I try to reach them, and I don't hear from them for days, and they say they were busy. And we're all busy. Life, everybody's got personal lives and everything else, and work, and just, we run this 7 days a week. We're all busy. However, you got to communicate. Number one, phone, email. Hell, I don't do texting and I don't do fax, but between phone and email, that's enough. You should have no reason whatsoever to get a hold of somebody. I mean, my gosh, we're working 7 days a week. It's no reason not to communicate. So that's the number one thing. If you're not willing to communicate, if you're not willing to be receptive, and respond, it's just not going to work. I can tell you right now, it will not work. It's just that, I say this all the time, and you're going to hear it. It's just that simple. It will not work. Period. So let's see. Moving on. The next step is listen and change. You have to be, for this to work, what's it going to cost you? People say all the time, what's it going to cost me, tailor shop? How much is it going to cost me? $1 million a year? What's it going to cost? No, it's not going to cost you $1 million a year. And in fact, our services pay for themselves. What the number one, the non-monetary cost is a willing to listen and change. If you're not willing to listen and willing to change, obviously for the better, to improve, become more efficient and accurate, then it's not going to work. It says it on my website. You see that. It's that simple. You must take the information we provide and implement it with your crews. Make sure that your crews understand the expectations from the processor, which is us. It's, again, it's just that simple. But this is huge. And adaptability. You need to be able to adapt. There's different situations. This industry changes every single day sometimes, it seems like. So you're going to have to be you're going to have to adapt. If you can't adapt to the ever-changing allowables, clients' parameters, everything. If you can't adapt to this and be prepared to change daily, to accommodate your clients and servicers, then you're gonna find yourself in a precarious situation eventually, because you have to be on top of it. We're on top of it, so we expect you to be on top of it. But the bottom line is, if we're going to provide you, if you go through our assessment program, our service transition tactics, we're going to provide you comprehensive information that you will not receive anywhere else. And with that comes the ability to listen and change. If you're not willing to listen and change, I tell every single guy I talk to initially, it will not work. Will not work. Listen and change. You have to be willing to change. You have to be receptive to constructive criticism. And it's all to benefit you. It's all to improve upon your situation. That's what we're trying to do. If you're not, again, it's just not going to work. So let's see. Next. Forms. Proper usage of forms. Another thing that should be pretty straightforward. One of our requirements is contractors are filling out documentation in the field. We provide forms. We provide paper versions of forms. For guys that are technically proficient, we have digital versions of our forms exclusively on PPW. It's imperative that you're providing details, dimension, and cause on every issue that it pertains. The cause leaning more towards damages, but providing details and dimensions so that us, the processor, can formulate a proper bid, can put in the proper verbiage. Telling us, you have to clean gutters. This is an example of somebody I spoke with recently. He had to clean. He said, clean gutters. Okay, well, how? Yeah, we can look at photos and guesstimate. But if I underguesstimate, you're going to give us crap about not hitting it right. It's more than that. Well, I can only look at photos and guesstimate. How about your guy in the field who has the tape measure, who has the ability to, provide these details? Tell us. It's 150 feet. It's 200 feet. Whatever the case is. We've seen such vague bids, such vague reporting of bids. And yes, we take the initiative and provide bids in proper verbiage. However, it's imperative that your guys in the field are filling out the forms. We're providing you the tools. We're giving you the forms. The most comprehensive PCR and damage report you're going to ever find in this industry. We have it. We're going to provide it to you. That's simple. One page PCR, one page damage report. It cannot get any easier than this. Cannot get any easier. So you're going to have to ensure that your guys in the field are understand. And truly, believe me, I've been in the field. I know what it's like. You don't want it to be complicated. You want it to be simple. I agree. It's imperative to provide these details because it's going to help it's going to help the processors process the order faster. For processing to be successful, for processing to be efficient and accurate, it needs to start in the field. Go to my website, look through the website. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. It has to come from the field. If your guys in the field are sloppy, if they take crappy photos, if they do all kinds of stuff, if they don't provide details or notes or anything like that, guess what? It's going to get hitched up in processing, whether we're doing it or anybody else is doing it. You're going to have a tremendous amount of questions, and it's going to get held up. It's just that simple. Fill out forms properly. Simple. Is the hot water tank present? Has it ever been present? Is the furnace present? These are simple questions. that a guy in the field should be able to ask, providing details, just dimensions. They should be being accurate. This isn't guesstimation. Your clients don't want an average or a guesstimation of the square footage of mold. Get your tape measure out and measure it. You know, I have guys tell me, well, you should be able to look at the photos, and you should. Well, we can look at the photos. We don't do it that way though, because again, we're starting to teach a bad habit of letting guys get away with not providing the details. That's a problem. That's a problem for you, for the contractor. That's a problem. It's imperative that you're pushing your guys to fill out proper forms and documentation. I mean, we're accepting liability. In my contract, it states we accept liability on every single order we process, which is hundreds and hundreds a day, based on proper photos and documentation are being provided. So why wouldn't you want to provide them? Why wouldn't you? I just don't understand. It's a powerful tool, filling out proper forms in the field. It's imperative. If you want to be successful, if you want to have sloppy work done, if you want to do things, I hate to say it, but half-assed, then go ahead and just send photos and have whoever process the orders screw up your orders and then wonder why it got screwed up later. Look, I hate to be blunt, but I have to be, because this is becoming an issue we're seeing across the board, and it's just, it's unbelievable. Your clients expect more from you. Your servicing companies you receive work for, they're expecting you to do a grade A job. Because let me break the news to you. If you're not going to do it, there's somebody else that will. Believe me, you're not special. None of us are. But if you don't do the job correctly, if you don't do it right and point the first time, they're just going to find somebody else. We're helping contractors understand that by the way we process, the way we provide information and feedback and training and consulting and stuff like that, to let guys know that this is imperative. If you want to retain your clients and make them happy and keep them happy, provide all the formative details. Now, going into the next tool, number 4 will be, it's kind of hand in hand, training of your crews. This kind of, all this kind of links together. If you see, implementation, adaptation, training your crews to make sure that they're understanding of the ever-changing parameters, the ever-changing client specifics that are happening, and that, if they're not used to filling out forms. You'd be surprised how many guys I talk to, new contractors, potential contractors, my guys that never fill out forms. They don't want to. They won't do it. I mean, but then I ask them how many chargebacks you had. 5,000, 10,000, 100,000. I had one guy tell me he had $250,000 in chargebacks one year. $250,000 in chargebacks solely from mistakes from his field and from the processors. Well, I can only assume that the processors were either inept in processing, or maybe the guy just left it off and didn't take a photo. Who knows? But the bottom line is that training of your crews is imperative, is a huge factor. You got to take the time. Now, if you're working with the tailor shop, then you're not going to worry about processing, and you'll have the time to do vendor management. You'll have the time to train your guys, to get them in line, to make sure that they understand what's going on. Utilize that newfound time by using the tailor shop. Trust me, you'll see the benefits. Nothing happens overnight. Working with some guys think that they start with us, working with us, and within a week or two, they think things are going to be wonderful, and they're not. I can tell you right now, the average transitional period is 1 to 2 months, and that what I mean by that is because you're gonna send us work, we're gonna provide you feedback based on the work we've processed. You're gonna take that information and use it to train your guys in the field to make sure that they're doing things correctly. We're gonna not nitpick. I don't want to use the word nitpick, but we're gonna point out what the inadequacies we're seeing and what you can do to improve. We're here to help you improve. We're not here to just harp on people. We're here to help you improve. If you're going to use our service, if you're going to pay for our service, and you want quality service, you want grade A, top notch, you want to know what's going on. Take it seriously. We do every single day. So yeah, training crews kind of goes without saying, but you'd be surprised. Now I'm telling you this because these are tools, these are factors, these are functions you're going to need to be successful. Certainly working with the tailor shop, and certainly working in this industry. But I'm coming at you from a tailor shop perspective, and that's exactly why I'm letting you know this. I'm giving you, yet again, more advice to your success in this industry. So let's see, the last thing, number 5. equally as important as number 1, 2, 3, and 4, providing proper photos. This is another factor. If you're not providing proper photos, and we're trying to process an order, and we can't submit the order because it's missing photos. We can't submit the order because it's missing photos. Got it? Make sure you guys are taking photos. Now, what goes hand in hand? Like I said, all these points go together. What goes hand in hand with the fact of the proper forms is the forms that we've created is somewhat of a checklist to the photos you must provide. So if you report an issue, if you say the property is unsecure, then you should provide a photo showing the property unsecure. If you say that there is a hot water tank present, then you should provide a photo showing that hot water tank. If you say it's missing, you should provide a photo showing it's missing. You see what I'm saying? It's like a checklist. We've created it that way for a reason. So it's somewhat. Yes, you're reporting the current issues or what the condition of the property's in, but you're also it's also a photo checklist. Obviously, if you're reporting a bid to, replace a chimney or repair a chimney, have a photo of it. Have numerous photos of it. That would be great. Take plenty of photos. Don't take 1,000 photos, but take enough to show the detail of, the scope of the work that needs to be done. We send a tremendous amount of orders back because they're missing photos. And some clients aren't so forgiving in the sense that, if you're missing stuff or your bids don't justify, they're going to send the order back and requesting additional photos to support your bid. Not to mention, some guys like to fudge. Now, we don't do this, but some guys like to fudge orders through and then go back later and put the photos in and all this jazz. Well, yeah, some of the clients, you can do that. We do not do that. Let me be clear, we do not fudge any orders. However, there are some clients, once you hit the submit button, that order's gone, and there is no coming back. So you have to make sure it's correct. And you should just consider that, you should just be that a benchmark for all clients, that you make sure you get it done right the first time and get all the photos. Again, using our checklist, using our PCR as a checklist, as a PCR, it's a twofold. It's a tool for people. It helps you. We're here to help. We're not here to make life difficult. Some guys have said to me, "Oh, you're asking questions. My guys are wondering why you're asking for this information." Because it's basic information. I've been in the field. Many people in my office have been in the field. They know this is why you need to provide this information. It's basic. We're not asking you for ridiculous, obtuse information that's not needed. We're asking for basic required information. And with that comes corresponding photos. You must take proper photos. I know half you people are watching this are thinking, yeah, duh, Chuck, you got to take proper photos. We have to submit orders back requesting for additional photos more than I like to admit. And I hate to say it, when we're processing hundreds of orders a day, it's somewhat sad that we have to send the orders back for the basic type of photos that we do. But this is why I'm letting people know this is imperative. You must make sure that go along with training your crews and communication and all this stuff. If you see all this stuff interjects itself into one another because it's all ultimately it all falls under communication. We talked about coming up with these bullet points, and this all really falls under communication, but we wanted to break it down a little more and talk to you about and explain to you the specifics of it. But these are the 5 fundamental tools it's going to take for you to work with the tailor shop, and more importantly, to be successful and to build a successful working relationship working with the tailor shop. It's imperative. I'm already at like 20 minutes. I didn't want this to be a long video, but this is important stuff. So I hope some of you are sitting through it and get to the end. I appreciate that. But I'm going to wrap it up. Like I said, top 5 tools: communication, listen and change, proper use of forms, training your crews, and providing proper photos. All these things you must utilize these all in conjunctive with each other to make sure working with the tailor shop is going to be as successful as you'd like it to be and as we would like to be. Because keeping in mind, it's in our best interest for your company to grow. If you're looking for growth, if you're looking to get that edge to be able to grow, look no further than the tailor shop, because as your business grows, our business grows. So it's a win-win. So it's imperative for us to work together to achieve the goals that you want to achieve, as well as us. So anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please like, share, comment, all that stuff. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them below. You can email us through our website. We have an 800 number on our website to reach us at our office in Cleveland. don't hesitate to call us. Don't hesitate to send us an email, a request. We'd love to talk to you. Again, this is Chuck Taylor with the Taylor Shop. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a lovely day.